the truth about your comfort zone. When you stay in the comfort zone, you give up the possibility of what you can get. We just settle because we're too scared. You are only surviving. All you're thinking about is, I have to survive. It is nothing short of dying. The cost of success is discomfort. Do the thing that feels really difficult. Ask the person out on a date, leave the job, start a new job, go to school, buy the house. If you want it, you won't stop until you get it. What's the ROI of the comfort zone, and what's the ROI of the discomfort zone? Hi, my friends, and welcome back to another episode of the Blooming Podcast. We went a little quiet for a couple weeks there, and it was much needed. I was gonna make some filler episodes for you guys, but I decided not to. So you guys got a little bit of a break. But you know what's so cool is even when I don't record episodes, there's always thousands of downloads. I always get emails for the weekly downloads, and it's always so cool to see how many of you guys still listen to the podcast and listen to old episodes. It's just great, and I hope they serve you. I hope it's like if a week goes by and you guys don't get an episode from me, you guys can just listen to some old ones. And I was gonna post one, but I was like, they're big girls, they're big boys. You guys can figure it out on your own. So welcome back. We are in, let's see, it's November. Bloom, you guys, I have to say this before. Bloom is opening enrollment in just a couple more weeks. December 6th, we're opening the doors. I'm so freaking excited. I cannot wait for you guys to hear some of the women's experiences that have been in Bloom. I'm going to have, I think, 1 or 2 podcast episodes. I'm going to interview some of these women, and I'm going to let you guys know what they think about the experience, so you guys can just kind of hear what they think. I'll be doing all the things everywhere on Instagram, everywhere, whenever I have a launch. So you guys will be able to hear directly from them what their experiences is and just all the things. So I'm really excited about that. But if you're not on the wait list, get on it now, because I want to warn you guys, or I should not even say warn, I should just say prepare you guys. I'm having a big Black Friday sale. I do not do this. I think I did a Black Friday sale when I was a baby coach back a couple years ago, like in 2019, 2020, I forget when. And I have not done one since, and I want to do one. This may be the last one, but we'll see. If you're on the wait list, you will get access to, everybody actually, it's not just a wait list, but I'm going to see if I throw in a little something extra for the wait list. But there's a big Black Friday sale. So only 24 hours, midnight, Thanksgiving night. So you're going to want, I'll prepare you guys. You guys, if you follow me on Instagram, if you follow me everywhere, I'll be talking about it incessantly, I'm sure. So just prepare yourselves, because if you're already ready, you've been waiting for me to open enrollment, you're going to want to take advantage of the sale for Black Friday. Okay, so that's what, November 25th, I want to say. So get ready. And then Bloom opens actual enrollment December 6th through the 11th. So only 5 days. You guys can join right away. I think there's a lot of women who have been waiting. I've been getting so many DMs from you guys. So I know a lot of you guys are already ready to join. I'm going to be doing clarity calls for any of you guys that want to just know a little bit more. I will be giving you guys the option, but if you're already ready and you know that you've been waiting for Bloom, you didn't get in on the first round, you're ready to come in now, you guys are going to be able to buy the moment cart opens on December 6th, access the program immediately, all the things. Okay, that's enough about Bloom, because you guys will hear me talk about it incessantly. So anyway, so this week's episode, we're going to be talking about the truth about your comfort zone. I feel like I've talked about this before, but when I was writing it, I was like, you know what? I literally haven't given this example, so I don't think people have heard me explain it in this concept or in this way, because I do talk about being safe, right? I talked about being in your self-protection, and I think because I talk about that so much, I haven't really explained what it means to be in your comfort zone. And this was inspired. This episode was really inspired by the women in Bloom, some of my clients that I've been working with too, because I've noticed that even though sometimes we're doing a lot of work, right? Maybe you're in therapy, maybe you're in coaching, maybe you're in, whatever it is that you're doing to work out all of the things from your brain and body. A big component of healing is creating disconfirming experiences. So it's understanding why you've changed, why now things feel a little harder for you. Maybe this isn't the case for everybody, but for some people, certain areas feel harder, right? And so when they feel hard, they feel uncomfortable. When they feel uncomfortable or they feel painful, you're not going to be as compelled to move forward. And so what your brain tells you is like, that's scary. It's a threat. Don't do it. But the thing about not moving forward with the thing you actually want is you don't get the results that doing that thing will offer you. And so you miss out on the wonderful result that would have came if you would have done the thing that felt uncomfortable. I get it. It doesn't feel good to be in discomfort, but I was talking to one of my clients earlier maybe a couple weeks ago, and I told her the cost of success is discomfort. And I really believe that to my core, because most things that come from doing difficult things, like the result that comes from doing things that feel really uncomfortable, it's always a thing that it feels so good. You feel so confident and pride, and you feel strong. You trust yourself. There's so many good things that come from doing hard things, but hard things are hard. And that's why we don't want to do them, because there's just like, it's going to bring up either pain while doing them, or we think bad things will happen if we do them. Or when you do them, a lot of times there's the pain of patience, right? So sometimes, like, let's say you're an entrepreneur and you're starting to put yourself out there, and putting yourself out there means making offers, creating content, going live, talking about the value that you offer, how great you are as an entrepreneur, whether it's a product or a service. And you have to talk about you all the time and say, hey, this is really valuable. The work I offer is really great and it will change your life. Or this product is really great. It's going to help you. And when no one says yes right away, that can feel really painful and uncomfortable. Sometimes, not even sometimes, most of the time, you have to wait. Like those people who get success out right off the bat, man, y'all are lucky. And you know what? I will say, I got kind of lucky in the beginning. It didn't take that long for me. Actually, I lied. It did take a long time for me. What I did though was I offered free coaching for 10 weeks to 10 women. So imagine, that's such a long time. I had 100 hours of coaching under my belt after I did that, because I wanted to get my name out there. I wanted to feel a lot of confidence in my coaching, but I didn't get paid for it. Probably maybe within 6 weeks of doing it, someone was like, I actually want to pay you for this. And I was like, I'm a paid coach. But for a lot of you, if you're self-employed, or if you have to do something that feels really uncomfortable and the results are delayed, that feeling of waiting, the delay feels really, really uncomfortable. So no one likes to feel that. And so we decide, what do we end up doing? You stay in your comfort zone. You stay in the normal stuff. You stay in your old life. You stay in doing the same things that you did. But what happens when we just continue to do the things that we did before? What happens when you just continue doing the same old things, thinking the same old thoughts, feeling the same emotions, not doing anything new? You get the same results. You get the same life. Nothing changes. So you stay safe, you stay comfortable, but you also don't get any change. And the change could be really spectacular. So that's really one of the main truths about what happens in your comfort zone. You stay safe. There's a lot of familiarity in the comfort zone. There's a lack of change. There's normalcy. There's just comfort, right? They don't call it the comfort zone for no reason. You don't experience discomfort. I call it the discomfort zone. Like I really do believe that trying new things is the discomfort zone. Why? Because you feel a lot of freaking discomfort in waiting for the thing to happen, in rejection when the thing doesn't happen when you want it to, when someone actually says no to you and rejects your offer or whatever thing that you're doing. Maybe you applied for a job and you don't get it, and it could feel like it's just such a letdown, especially the expectation of possibly getting it. And it feels really bad. It feels crappy. No one wants to feel that. No one wants to experience the loss that you basically feel, even though you didn't have it, right? If you're planning on it, it does feel like a loss. And it's not lost on me that feels really uncomfortable. It's sad. It literally can feel like someone took something away from you, even though you didn't have it, because you could be planning for it, right? You could be excited about it. I had an experience last week on one of the Bloom coaching calls, and we were talking about creating what I call disconfirming experiences. So when you create a disconfirming experience, you basically do the thing that feels really difficult that you don't want to do, right? Ask the person out on a date, break up with them, leave the job, start a new job, go to school, buy the house, something that just feels like it's like bigger than you, right? And it opens you up for something really great and new, but it also, because it's new, it feels uncomfortable. The belief could be that if I do this, it's not going to work. If I do this, I'm going to get hurt. If I do this, it's just going to set me back, or it's going to be really expensive, or whatever it is. And that can be the thing that keeps you from doing it. So what I help my clients do in Bloom is we say we're going to lead ourselves, lead those parts that are a little scared, and we, being self-led, being self from our higher self, we lead those parts and say, listen, I'm going to guide you. I'm going to drive the car now. Let me drive. Trust me. Let's do it. And let's just see what happens. So we have an experience that disconfirms the belief that they had of it's not going to work, or we're going to get hurt. And those things are, you're entering the discomfort zone when you're putting yourself in a situation for the good thing to happen, but it also just feels really uncomfortable, right? I was talking to the women in Bloom last week, and someone said, well, one of the reasons I don't do it is because I don't want to let myself down if it doesn't happen, or I don't want to get my hopes up. So instead, I just don't do it. And I thought, oh my gosh, like that makes so much sense. First of all, I see that. Like if I do it and it doesn't happen, I'm going to get let down. So instead, I just don't do it because I don't want to live with the potential of getting let down. But you also don't get the opportunity to see if it did work and feel the effects of that. And I was explaining to them how being in the discomfort zone, it is uncomfortable, right? It may not work. You could have doubt. It could turn out a bad way. But I honestly really, really believe that if you want it, you won't stop until you get it. So you don't have the chance of it not coming true. Like it's going to happen. So you're not even going to have like a what if. It's like, no, I'm going to try and try and try until I make it happen. And I know that's, for me, that's what I do, right? Not before. I used to believe the same thing, like, oh my gosh, what if someone says no, or what if someone rejects me, or whatever. And so it kept me from just expanding my life. And I was not happy where I was. So I want to give you guys an example, or just like draw a picture for you of what your comfort zone looks like. So you guys have heard me talk about giving you guys kind of the example of being in the Serengeti in like the desert or something, and a tiger coming for you. And that's when you go into like a fight or flight response, right? And it's really scary. Well, I want you to picture being in the discomfort zone is being in fight or flight. It's being in a stress response, right? And most people don't want to do that. And so they just opt out. But let's think of the example of being in the Serengeti. So you're minding your own business, chilling, and all of a sudden you see a freaking cheetah and it is running right towards you. And makes sense, you would freak out, you'd get scared. So you have a couple choices, right? Fight, flight, or freeze. And let's say in this instance, you run away. You want to try to outrun it. And so you run and you try your hardest. So you're now in a survival state, right? You are running. All you're thinking about is, I have to survive. I am fighting for my life, right? I'm running for my life. So you're running. The cheetah kind of is getting close. You can feel it. You can hear its footsteps behind you. And let's say it grabs you, and it grabs you by the leg. Maybe it's able to like grab you with its paw or something. You're kind of struggling with it. You fall, and it manages to kind of bite your leg, but you kick it in its face and you get away. You hurt it enough where it stops, and you manage to get up and you run away, and you're running, and it's still trying to get you, and you've managed to like see a cave somewhere and up ahead, and you're like, if I can make it, I'm gonna hide in that cave. And you manage to like hide behind a tree, some bushes, whatever, and then you get into the cave, and the cheetah runs right past you, doesn't see you, and you're safe. You're in the cave. You literally ran it, and you're now safe. When you're safe in the cave, your adrenaline's rushing. Oh my gosh, I'm safe. I'm okay. The cheetah didn't get me. You look down, your pants are ripped. You have a big gash on your leg. You're bleeding. You're in pain. But all you can think of is like, I'm safe. I'm okay. Well, say a couple hours pass and you're just hanging out in the cave because you're like, this cheetah is probably somewhere around here. I got to stay in here, right? So you stay in the cave. A couple hours pass. fall asleep, wake up, I don't know however many hours later, it's nighttime now, still in the cave. When you're in that cave, guys, picture yourself, you're safe, right? You're totally safe in there. But imagine staying in that cave for days, for weeks, for months, for years, because you are so scared of when you leave that cave, you think that cheetah is like, you have no idea where it's at, right? You don't hear it anywhere, but like if the cheetah found you, less than a mile away before, it could find you again. That experience was so scary. And now you have like this injury on your leg. Like you're like, that was so scary. And I almost got eaten, but I somehow managed to get away. We're not going out there again. I'm staying in this cave. And maybe let's say there's like a tree within distance. Let's say it's an apple tree. Of course, there's no apple trees in the Serengeti where there's like a cheetah probably, but let's just make believe. And you start getting hungry at this point. Let's say it's only like day 2. You're terrified to go out, but you're freaking starving. So you run to the tree, run back, and you get a couple apples. Oh my gosh, you're excited. You got to eat. You were able to come out of the cave for a little bit for food because you were starving, right? Again, another stress response. But you're chilling in the cave still. You're like not moving out of there. And let's say down the ways, you can see that there's like a village. You can hear like movement. You can see that there's people pretty, within distance, but it's far, okay? You're just like, there's people alive out there. They're doing their thing. And I'm over here stuck in a cave and you're terrified to get out. I want you guys to picture that that's what it's like to stay in your comfort zone. You are only surviving. The reason you're stuck there is because you're only referencing and using your memory of that cheetah that attacked you. And that's the fear of getting attacked again is what's keeping you from moving out into where that village is close and you can like get out and be with people. You guys, that's the comfort zone. You are only surviving. You're not thriving. If you're in the village and you're out doing your thing, you're thriving in the world. But if you're stuck out of fear, there's nothing fun about that. There's nothing fun about your comfort zone. Yes, it keeps you safe, but you are alone. You're literally stuck. It's being in a cave, you guys, there's just nothing thrivable. Is that a word? That's not a word. We make up words on this podcast. You guys know that. You're just surviving. You're just staying alive. You're just literally nothing great about it. Yeah, you run out for food, for apples every now and then, but who knows how many apples are going to be in there? What the seasons change, right? And there's no more apples. What are you going to do then? I want to offer that. You may seem like it may look like you're fine. You're like, well, Annabelle, there's just no animals here and I'm not getting bitten by anybody or I'm not getting chased anymore. That was so scary. There's food nearby and, I managed to make a bed out of whatever the heck was in the cave. So I'm okay. And yeah, listen, you're alive, but you're not thriving. You're just surviving. That's literally what happens for so many of us when we just settle for living a mundane life because we're too scared to do the thing that we know is going to set us free. Not only set us free, but just have you thriving in the world. And you guys, this isn't a true life. This isn't what God made you for. God wants you to thrive and live out abundantly with people and connect. Being alone in a cave, like man should not be alone. God wants you with other people. And not only that, when you're alone and you're in survival mode, you guys, internally, what's going on with your nervous system, you may look calm, like you're just chilling in a cave, but I promise you, your internal system is exhausted. If you're in survival mode, if you're always on the lookout, having nightmares about the damn cheetah, you're always thinking that he's around the corner, he's gonna come back and get you, you're always in fear, you are exhausted. And when you're exhausted, you will start going a little kook. And I don't say that to be judgmental or like pejorative. Like I promise you, you get tired. You look normal on the outside, but internally, the constant survival response, that constant survival state is so unhealthy for you. And you will start thinking you're going to see things like when someone is exhausted, you have your stress levels, the cortisol, like inflammation will happen, you guys. It is nothing short of dying. I wouldn't even call it surviving at this point when you're in a constant state of fear because you don't want to do the thing because you think you're gonna get hurt again. And it makes sense because that thing was scary. And now listen, you're walking with a limp probably because of that injury, let's say. And now you think, I think I might be able to get to the village, but now I have an injury. Now I don't even know that I can run that well. And if I wasn't able to outrun the cheetah before, healthy, now that I'm sick, now that I have an injury, I'm really gonna get it this time. And so it makes sense that you even have you feel like you have proof of why you can't do it because you have that injury. What I want to offer is that when you stay stuck because of fear, you are going to be exhausted. You're under so much stress. You're creating so much inflammation. You are again so tired, and you may not feel it like mentally, but I promise you, internally, your body is constantly in stress response. It is beyond tired. And this is such an unhealthy place to keep yourself in. I heard TD Jakes give a sermon recently, and he was literally talking about something really similar to this podcast that I'm recording today and that I'm sharing with you guys. And I remember I was texting my sister at the same time that we were watching it. And I was like, dude, this is literally the next podcast that I'm going to record. And she's like, oh my God, that's a great sign, whatever. And he said something so great. He said, when you're exhausted, when you're tired, you can feel like you don't have any power. You could feel like I don't have the power to get out of the cave. Like I'm just so tired. And what I believe it's not that you lost your power, that you're powerless or you're helpless. It's really just that you need to rest. And if you rest a little bit, guys, you can get your energy up again and you can get your power back and you can literally be able to run to the village. It's not necessarily that you have no power, that it's just that you have a lack of energy and you just need to rest. Because when you're in survival states, your internal system, you guys, I'm telling you, I want to say this a couple times because I want you to understand what happens to your internal system. It's working so hard because you're constantly in fear. If you're walking around in so much fear of things that aren't really quote unquote scary, but in this day and age, right? We're talking 2022. Certain things can feel scary. A relationship can feel scary. Getting a divorce can feel scary. Starting a new job can feel scary. Losing weight can feel scary. Applying for a job can feel scary. I get that. But it's not scary to the point of stress response, right? But if you think something is fearful, your body says, oh, we got to we got to go into stress response so we can survive this. What I want you guys to consider is that when you're in your comfort zone, maybe you just need a little bit of rest. You just need to rest in order for you to calm yourself down and then see if you can try to run to that village. Because I promise you, the value, the ROI, guys, of going to the village, I mean, you're with people again. You're connecting again. You're eating meals. You're getting taken care of. You can sleep in bed. You're just there's no tigers there. And you have so many more resources to help you. Resources, any external resource that you can have, it's people, other people's brain, other people's bodies, right? Other people, money. There's so many external resources that you can get help to do the thing that you want. Coaching, I think, is one of the best external resources that you guys can get. When something feels hard, if you hire somebody to help you or just ask for help, like family, your partner, whoever, friends, you can do it, right? You just need to rest sometimes, or you need some resource. And because internally, when you're in survival state, you have no internal resource. That's why it feels so impossible, because your brain is telling you all these things that doubt that we're going to get killed by the cheetah if it comes back. And internally, you just don't have the emotional capacity. And then physically, you may not either, right? Because if you're stressed emotionally and mentally, then it's going to take a toll on your body. So sometimes you just need to rest. Sometimes you just need some resources, someone else to help you. And you can get to the village. You can actually thrive and be with people and do the thing you want. And I can't even imagine being stuck somewhere alone for months, like in a cave, so to speak, right? I was coaching somebody recently, and I kept on telling her, we want to get to the village. We're not going to, it's scary. I know it's scary to take that risk, but there's so much more to gain. But when the experience was scary, right? Getting chased like that, getting bit, feeling that pain, it makes sense why. But you're using the past to inform your future. And when it comes to that, it just doesn't help you in that sense. It doesn't serve you. I can see why you're making that prediction, But when we're talking about something totally different that doesn't apply to your past, does it help to use that as a reference, as a reason why? Instead, you can use it as a reason to support you, was what I would offer. Like, I can tell myself, well, I did outrun the cheetah. Like, I actually did outrun the cheetah. I made it safe into a cave, and I've been surviving, and I've been feeding myself, and I've been living here for months. If I could do that, I think I could run to the village. You can use that experience to help you, to support why you can actually get out. Because you guys, the costs of taking the risk, it's almost always, I shouldn't even say almost, it's always worth it. But it makes sense why you get scared, but you just give up. When you stay in the comfort zone, you give up the possibility of what you can get if you go into the discomfort zone. And there's a lot of big ROIs there. You're thriving. You're with people. You can work. You can make money. You have comfort. There's a lot of, you have your own house and all the things, right? And I mean, I don't know about you, but I don't want to eat apples for the rest of my life. That does not a life make. I hope this was helpful. I hope I gave you guys kind of a picture of what really happens in the comfort zone. You're just surviving. You're kind of stuck, and you're not opening your chance for the experience of what could happen if you felt that discomfort just a little bit, the fear of running to the village, right? And you don't give yourself the opportunity to see if you got it. Because not only can you get the result, right, of going to the village, but you also get the pride and the confidence and the trust in yourself from doing the hard thing. And I sometimes think that that's actually more valuable than the result that comes from the thing that you actually want. The internal strength, the confidence and the trust, oh my gosh, you guys, that's priceless, because you can use that to do anything. You build that up a couple times, your body and brain will you could say, I'm gonna make $1 million this year. They're like, go ahead, because you did that thing. Remember when you ran away from that tiger, girl? Go ahead. I keep calling it a tiger. I'd say cheetah. I want to encourage you to ask yourself, like, am I just living in survival? Am I just staying in the comfort zone? Am I just surviving? Am I missing out the chance to thrive, to really live out my full potential? If I got a little bit uncomfortable, if I moved into the discomfort zone, what can I gain? What's the ROI of that? What's the ROI of the comfort zone, and what's the ROI of the discomfort zone? I think you might be surprised by the answer. All right, guys, I'll see you next week. Hope you have a good one.